I don't know. I mean, there's so many other things that happen in the news. One of the things that jumps out, everything else is kind of irrelevant at this point. And the reason I say that is because everything else is a symptom of the problem. Just going down the list, the EPA, they've been warned that they're getting an executive order coming from Donald Trump that's essentially going to completely rearrange what the EPA does and is. There's even a bill in Congress to disband the EPA. That is a symptom of the problem, of a greater problem that we're fighting against in the United States. The foreign policy. Not only the foreign policy blunders, but the hawkish position that is coming from Donald Trump, despite some people's belief that he was going to be moderate on or dovish on foreign policy, it is still a symptom of the problem. The underlying problem is that we've just lost our minds in terms of what's acceptable and what we're comfortable with. But what's happening with Donald Trump on the foreign relations front is a symptom of a much deeper problem. The pushback, the not only a pushback, let me use my language precisely, the onslaught against immigrants and the acceleration of that onslaught, it is a symptom of the problem. The problem has been here and it's been escalating since before Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton escalated it and it's been escalating ever since. But it's because it's become acceptable in our American discourse to not only acceptable, but politically expedient. And with such rewarding political benefits that it makes sense for politicians to use immigrants as scapegoats. Hell, not only politicians, but you got other marginalized groups who see the benefit of scapegoating immigrants. And so today's a day without immigrants, while it is an awesome statement, and we saw it across the country, we saw corporations joining in, you saw mom and pop shops joining in, you saw school students joining in across the nation, showing what America would look like and the dent that the absence of immigrants would have on the American economy. While it is an awesome display and we salute them and stand in solidarity with them, the problem is that there's an underlying issue in the United States that we not only have not addressed, but we have set back and allowed politicians and opportunists to profit off of for a very long time. Because the alternative has not been allowed to enter into the American discourse. Right? The only thing we talk about with regard to immigrants, the only thing we talk about, it's very similar to the only things we talk about on foreign policy. There's right, and then there's further right. There's bigotry, and then there's further bigotry. There is xenophobia, and then there's extreme xenophobia. There's deportations from Democrats, and then there's that's not good enough, Democrats. We got to do even more. And so on every single one of these issues that we talk about on a regular basis, the options that are in the acceptable American lexicon are worse and worser. Yes, I know exactly what I just said. It's right of center and far right. And right now, the far right has complete control over almost the entire government.